Good afternoon, Standard 8 students. Now I shall be explaining the 5th, 6th and the 7th stanza from the poem A Musical Instrument by Elizabeth Barrett Browning. So now we were aware of the mass destruction the great god Pan had done. And the last part of his destruction was when he pulled out a reed plant, removed all the leaves from there, and then again he started cutting it into smaller pieces. And then what did he do? He looked at that. Then he was not satisfied. He began to pierce holes into that stick. Okay. And it starts like this. This is the way laughed the great god Pan. Which is the way? The way is when you don't achieve what you want, then you become destructive, cause pain to somebody else. So he was undergoing a tremendous amount of pain and suffering. So he wanted to give the same pain and suffering to that reed plant because he knows that his lover, Syrinx, has hidden herself in one of them. So, thinking by using a sharp knife while taking out the leaves, she may cry out with pain. Laughed while he sat by the river. The only way since gods began to make sweet music, they could succeed then dropping its mouth to a hole in the reed. He blew in power by the river. Now, what else could he do while he was undergoing pain and suffering? He destroyed the entire water plants that were growing near the river, the water lilies, the reed plants. Okay. True. So the dragonfly was so scared that it flew away. Then the water was crystal clear. That also turned muddy because he was so angry. And in that state, he became very destructive. He went around destroying everything that was there in the river. But finally, he put his mouth into one of the holes that he had pierced in the stick. Sweet, 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 O Pan, piercing sweet by the river, blinding sweet, O great god Pan. Now what happened? When he blew into one of the holes, beautiful music was being produced. Beautiful, enchanting music. Okay. It was so melodious. It was so piercing. It was so blinding. You could close your eyes and imagine this beautiful, or feel the depth of this beautiful music that was being produced by this flute. made by this reed plant. Now it was so good, so enchanting. The sun on the hill forgot to die. So even the sun was so spellbound or so thrilled, was so impressed by this beautiful music that he forgot to set. And the lilies revived, and the dragonfly came back to dream on the river. Now everything that was destroyed near the river came back to life. That was the power of the music that the great God Pan had produced. So the lilies that were dying, that had already died and was lying dead, they came back to life. The dragonfly, through fear, flew away. That also came back to the river to dream again. Yet half a beast is the great God Pan. It's as though he is still half animal. To laugh as he sits by the river, making a poem out of a man. Now it was the effect of the music. It was so powerful that now he could make men into poets. They could be inspired by the kind of music that he had produced through this flute. Okay. The true God sigh for the cost and pain. It is such beautiful or melodious music can be produced only by a person who is undergoing tremendous amount of pain and suffering. Beauty comes out from pain and suffering. So as the gods understood the pain and suffering the great God Pan was experiencing. And this magical music just played around, brought everything back to life. For the reed which grows nevermore again, unfortunately, everything came back. All the water plants that were destroyed had come back to life, except the reed plant. And never again will this plant ever be grown. As a reed with the reeds in the river. So like the other water plants that came back to life and started growing again at the side of the river, but not this reed plant. It will never again grow in the river. Now this reed plant is considered to be a great sacrifice. It sacrifices life to allow the other water plants to continue to survive and to come back to life. And the great God Pan, he laughed because he couldn't believe, being a god, he was unable to find his lost love. He searched the river up and down, destroying everything, knowing that she is there somewhere around. He was not able to find. He picked on the reed plant because he knew she had taken the form of a reed plant. So that was now a kind of a sacrifice Syrinx has made to save the other water plants from being destroyed forever. So the music was so enchanting, was so powerful. It brought everything back to life except the life of this reed plant. And never again you will ever find this reed plant growing near the river. And the theme is based on sacrifice. That is, the reed plant had sacrificed its life. And then another important theme is that pain and suffering, when these two are being experienced, beauty comes only after experiencing a tremendous amount of pain and suffering. And we must also not crave for everything that we love, that we should get it. Now, the great god Pan was madly in love with Syrinx. But when we look at from Syrinx's point of view, how could she love a person who is half human and half animal? So, in order to save her life, she had to hide. Okay. And we should not be very destructive if we don't get what we want. So this is a beautiful poem that teaches us some beautiful lessons in life. Through pain and suffering emerges beauty. Nothing can be achieved without hard work and sacrifice. So these are beautiful lessons for us to inculcate in our lives. I will be sending the soft copy of the question and answers. Please write it down and learn. Okay? Thank you.